Hey everybody, doing a little solo YouTube real quick because Blake has Chase. So I wanted to answer some of the questions that you guys had put in my little Q&A box on Instagram. I didn't have a chance to get to all of them, but I really wanted to. So I'm just going to put them all on this YouTube because a lot of stuff like I just forgot to mention in our other one. So I wanted to go over it here. So I have all the questions here on my laptop. I'm just going to go down the list. How many stitches did you get? I honestly don't know. I didn't ask. I didn't even know what degree of tearing I had until a nurse accidentally told me afterwards, and I had 3rd degree tear. You'll have to Google it because I had Googled it and it was a big mistake. But it was not fun, not a fun recovery, very painful, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I didn't feel it in the moment, but I definitely felt it afterwards. Let's see. How's postpartum? Postpartum is a wild journey. I knew it would be really hard. I guess I just didn't know how hard or like in what way. So we're definitely navigating it together. It's every day's different. Every day you're either really tired or you're really happy. It's just kind of a really big roller coaster and it's really wild. Yeah, and it's different for everyone. We're really lucky that we can still kind of work from home a little bit, chill if we need to. Yeah, I don't know, but also like being awake pretty much 24/7 is a whole nother thing. So yeah. Are you amazed at how this small human can change your life so quickly? Yes, literally I said that to Blake. This little guy has us so trained, so like we do everything for him, and that's totally fine, and we knew that was coming. But yeah, it's crazy how this little tiny human can really just like rock your whole world and like change the whole dynamic of the house. The cats are doing pretty well with him. They don't love when he like cries for too long. They'll just kind of leave the room, but for the most part, like you guys see, like Lucy loves to lay with me and him. I think she mostly just wants to lay with me, but she's like putting up with him being there. Benji really likes him. Everyone's pretty good, and I think it's just only going to get better. But yeah, it's been pretty good so far with that. The transition, we were pretty prepared for the transition. Like I really got the house ready with just buying everything that everyone was telling me to. And that's one thing I would definitely recommend. If you have the means for it, buy everything you think you might need, because babies, I call it, it's like people who love puzzles probably love babies, because you have to just try everything until you find what works, and it might only work for a little bit, but like it's all trial and error. Like one day he liked this one bottle, the next day he hated it. So it's like, I'm glad I had 3 different kinds of bottles. Like I know not everybody can, but maybe buy just like one of everything if you can, of like, you don't have to buy 20 of one brand. Like diapers, just everything. If you have the means, buy a couple different options, because that one option could save you a night of sleep. But again, every baby's different, and everyone, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Best and worst advice you got? I mean, obviously everyone tells us like prioritize your relationship, get a babysitter. We don't really like always have that luxury. We don't have grandparents nearby. A lot of our friends have lives and jobs, and you know, so we planned a date night like 3 months ago for February. So we have one date night coming up, but it's really hard to like take that advice because like we don't always have the option for it. And then the worst advice I got, I don't even know. Probably just people constantly telling you like, oh, just wait until your life is over. But I don't feel like that at all. I think our life's just different now. So what in your relationship has changed with Blake now that Chase is here? I mean, obviously we don't spend as much time together. We might need to redo like our sleep schedule, because like at the moment I had a massive panic attack, and I like don't want anyone to be asleep. I don't want all of us to be asleep at the same time. So we're doing like really big sleep shifts, and it unfortunately, the downside to that is that Blake and I only get about 7 hours during the day to hang out, but during then we're like cooking and eating and trying to each get stuff done that we need to get done, and we end up not really spending quality time together. Like right now I'm filming this video instead of us like watching TV or something, but like some stuff like we both just like need to get done. So you know, that's pretty hard to navigate, but hopefully it'll get better soon. We just both know it's going to be like a little bit of a season, but luckily we have lots of friends who like to come over, so hopefully I can start like asking them to come over and like hold the baby for a couple hours so I can get some stuff done. What do I miss the most selfishly? I mean, probably just like being able to like go to the grocery store real quick. It's like we have to plan it now. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna eat, and then you pump, and then I'll run to the grocery store, and while I do that, you can feed him. Like we have to plan ahead a lot more instead of just like leaving the house whenever and like coming and going whenever. It's definitely, we're like trapped in the house for the time being. So that's definitely hard. Epidural and thoughts on it. How was it? I was really terrified for the epidural. I kind of spoke on this a little bit. I'm terrified of needles. If I can envision it or if I've seen it done, it like terrifies me to the core, and I did not want to do it. But I also I have a pretty high tolerance for pain, but I did not want to experience birth pain at all. So I knew it was like a means to an end for me. And with how bad my contractions were and how much pain I was in, I knew like it was only going to get worse. And I was just, and one thing they don't tell you about birth, I don't know if this happens for everyone, but as soon as I started getting contractions, my whole body was like shaking, like you're freezing, but you're not cold, you're really hot, but you have like the shakes. And so it was really hard for them to get an IV or the epidural into me because my whole body was like I was like, like my jaw was like quivering and like my teeth were chattering, and it was really hard for them to get needles into me. And so that made it like way worse than it really had to be. The epidural was honestly not as bad as the IV because I could see what they were doing. Epidural was just like a really weird pain. Oh, it like makes me cringe to think about, in your spine. But like mine hit pretty much immediately, and then I was just kind of in and out of sleep until it was time to push. So I mean, I recommend it. Everyone has their own. Research it if you want. I knew that I was going to be open to it and it was an option. We had time for it, so I took it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, and I can't believe I'm even saying that. Sorry, I'm like fidgeting. I can't believe I'm even saying that, but I'm really glad I got it because I think it made me a really calm person during, and not being like screaming, and I just didn't want that whole vibe. And so it definitely made me a much more calm person to give birth, and I think that was probably the right choice. Do you feel grateful to be able to have both you and Blake at home to raise your child? Very grateful. I'm really glad that we've worked hard to have the jobs that we have. It is also a blessing and a curse because with that, we don't get paid maternity leave or vacation time. Like we had to have saved to be able to like have the time off. And with that, we said we'd take the month off, and we have not because like we want to keep working. We love what we do. So it's good and bad because you feel guilty if you're not working for the day because you should be, but you also want to hang out with your baby, and it's kind of in with each other and the cats and all the things. So it's definitely hard, but we're very, very blessed to like have the opportunity to work from home, and one of us can take the day, the other can take the day off, and we switch. And it's been definitely very, very, very blessed about that. And I'm so glad I don't have to like go to an office. I think I would have a massive panic attack if I had to leave the baby, like ever. Because right now we have like one of my friends come and she babysits for the day, but we're in the house. Like I can't even like leave the house. So yeah. I mean, sometimes one of these is like, oh, how early do you get up before you take care of the baby? So I kind of like went over our schedule, and this obviously it changes all the time, but kind of Blake goes to sleep from 3 till about 10 every day, 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. I have the baby by myself for that time. And then he gets up at 10. He kind of does the stuff he needs to do for about an hour. He like feeds the cats, gets his water, gets some food, does all the things he needs to do. I go to bed and I pump at around 11. I go to sleep until 4. He wakes me up at 4. I either pump or breastfeed then, and then I go back to sleep until 8, and then I pump or breastfeed then. So we've been kind of feeding him every 3 or 4 hours, or in between if he feels like it. And then at 8, I get up, I like eat something, I pump, I post and do all the posts I need to do, get some emails done. So kind of for the hour, we're kind of both together, and then we kind of just switch off throughout the day, and then until Blake goes back to sleep at 3. So that's kind of our schedule at the moment. And then Blake showers and does all the things once I'm done showering and doing all the things, and he eats and he cooks for us. And then we try to like get stuff done around the house. It's kind of just all over the place. Okay, stay-at-home mom for 2 years now, can't lose weight. I don't know. I'm gonna figure that out in like a month when I'm cleared to work out and figure that whole journey out. I'm really trying to be gracious on my body at the moment, but it's really hard because I really want my old body back, but I know it's not gonna happen immediately. So we're gonna figure that one out together. Struggling with the thought of having kids and afraid of birth, postpartum, any advice? I went through this too, where I was like, maybe I don't want kids, because I like the thought of birth really terrified me, and it did pretty much up until it was about time to push. I still had a freak out. I think eventually I'm really glad we got pregnant kind of like on accident, because then I didn't have a choice. Like, I'm gonna have to give birth. The baby's got to come out one way or the other. And I think for me, something about a C-section seemed worse than like regular birth, or not regular, but natural. So I almost like I would have rather that. So I something about just having something that could have been worse, even though that was still an option if it needed to be, like help me kind of like, oh, well, I don't have the worst one, like in my brain. So I don't know. I think you just eventually, it all happens so fast. You just got to do it, and it's over, like not fast, but it's just over, and then it's done. So I don't know. And I'm over here wanting more kids, and I like didn't think that would be a thing. So you never know. How are you finding combo feeding? So we did that at the beginning because when we were trying to leave the hospital, he hadn't peed in 24 hours, which like they pretty much won't let you leave in that case, which is totally understandable. And so I wasn't producing enough like liquid for him to like pass through his body. So they gave us the option of doing like a formula feed just to see if it'll get him to at least pee. And I was open to whatever the baby needs, like just do it. And so we did that, and then we just found that he was really hungry all the time and fussy, and I think a lot of fussy babies are just hungry babies. So we just have been going with our instincts, and if I have breast milk to give him, I'll give him that. Whatever I don't produce, he will have the rest in formula. That's just what we've been doing, and he's been a happy baby and a healthy baby, and he got right back up to his birth weight really fast. And I think as long as you're doing what you think is best, I think if you go one route or the other route or both routes, doesn't matter. Just like as long as your baby's fed, that's literally all that matters. Favorite thing about being a new mom? I mean, lots. It's pretty cool to watch how Blake and I are like navigating all of this. I also found that the community that kind of like wraps around you, whether they know you or not, is pretty cool. Like all the moms, like I'll post something that I needed advice on, within minutes I have like hundreds of DMs. So it's pretty cool that I didn't know I had that many like mom followers, or like people from college that are reaching out to me, or like my cousins. Just it's crazy. Like once you're a mom, it's like you're like in this club that you like didn't know you were going to be a part of. But it's so cool because everyone's been pretty positive and very helpful, almost too helpful, whereas too many options for me to like have to look into. But pretty cool about that. And I feel the same. Like if someone wants advice on something, I feel like I want to share stuff that I think. So it's pretty cool. Okay, will you hire a nanny? We actually had a meeting today to potentially hire somebody who would just be here while we're here filming and kind of just working for the day for maybe part-time. My best friend is a nanny, but she won't leave her family for me yet. We'll see. But yeah, so in the meantime, we're probably going to hire somebody if we find a good fit, just because like we work for ourselves and we still need to provide for our child and for our like life. So yeah, we're looking into that. I went through Westside Nannies. That's who my friend is with as well. So we'll let you guys know how that goes. How much does birth cost? I don't know. I haven't gotten the bill yet, but I'm scared. Most used newborn items. I'll do a whole video on all these things. They're kind of all over the place at the moment. And we're still kind of figuring out what we like. A lot of it's in my Amazon store. I've deleted stuff that I haven't used, or I've added a lot of stuff that we like bought last minute, and I'm so glad that we did. But yeah, there's lots in there. Anything you liked about birth? No, none of it. Sorry. Getting to go home, but then even that was like painful. Are we gonna have more babies down the road? Listen, this baby was not planned, and we tried really hard for years for a baby, and it didn't happen, and then we gave up or stopped, and then it happened. So I'm very much not forcing anything. I would like to wait a couple years, so we're definitely gonna on purpose try to avoid getting pregnant for the next couple years. But also if it happens, it happens. I think it might be kind of wild, but we want probably one more. Or if we don't have any more, that's fine. If we have a couple more. But no, probably just one more. And if that's in the cards for us, we're also not going to force it. See how life goes. Yeah. Whatever happens. Prenatal. I did not take a prenatal my entire pregnancy, and they tried to give me some at the hospital. I'm just not a pill taker, and so I didn't want to take any, and I was eating, I think, enough. I mean, everyone has their own opinion on this. I didn't feel like it was necessary, so I didn't take any. Best thing you packed in your hospital bag? My Squishmallow, hands down. You'll see it in our birth video. It was the best thing because it was really good for like my shoulder, and you have all these like cords and stuff all over you, so you can't really like curl up if you like to like this because you have stuff all over. So having kind of like something from home that was comfortable and soothing was really nice. And there's so many hospital pillows, and they're kind of thin and like scratchy, and they're kind of rotating them all around. You don't know what's been where and if it fell on the ground. So my Squishmallow, they always knew to like keep it by my face. So if you have anything that's like kind of comforting for you, like a stuffed animal or your favorite pillow or a blanket, take it because you will use it and want it. A lot of postpartum depression questions. This will be like the last one I think I'll answer. I was really afraid of getting postpartum depression. I think it might run in my family. I don't know if it does, but I feel like it was very much a possibility. So I got my placenta, I saved it, and I had them turn it into pills that I take 3 times a day. I've only taken them for about a week now, but I feel like this was like kind of the most natural-ish way that I was gonna try to go about avoiding postpartum depression. So far, I really like these. They don't taste like anything, and I've noticed that if I skip, you take it 3 times a day, so if I skip one of them, I get really emotional about, you know, that time of the day if I don't take them. So that could just be a placebo effect. I don't know, but I have noticed that if I forget to take them, I usually cry at that time. So, and I'll link it's placenta, and pretty cool. People have their own opinions about your placenta and stuff. This is just, I had a strong feeling that I wanted to do it. I looked into it and I just thought it's gonna work for me. So I'm gonna try it. What can it hurt? So yeah, doing these. But I'm gonna wrap this up. But let me know if you guys have any more questions. Maybe I'll do another one of these. I'll do all the baby items that we really love, because there's a lot of them. And yeah, but I think baby is 2.5 weeks now, so we're getting into it. But like and subscribe and put any more questions below, and let me know if you guys have any suggestions. I'm always open to that. But see you later. Bye.